Oh, what's better than getting a toss from the man, the myth, the Mahenti, Zub. Trevor, thank you as we welcome you into the Rocket Money Kickoff. Thursday night college football, one final time in the American. You've got Memphis, the home team, taking on Navy. You heard Zub talk about it a moment ago. We're smoking turkey. We're having fun. It is the South, albeit, as Navy has a lot to play for in Memphis again. There is so much on the line for both of these teams as we wrap up the regular season in college football. With that, one final time, welcome into Industry Night, Thursday night college football. Tom Luganville and Matt Berry. Let's harken back to last year. 1,225 yards of offense, high-scoring game. I kind of want that tonight for everyone that's on their home fat and sassy after eating all day.
I got to be honest with you, I'll be surprised if we don't get it because both of these teams are uber explosive in their methods on offense. I think we could have a track meet here tonight and some really good quarterback play.
And you heard Zub talk about it a minute ago. It's worth pointing out again, Navy, their situation coming into the final weekend of the season in the American Conference. It is a three-way tie up top. So Navy, first things first. They don't control their own destiny, but they need to win tonight and then get some help from North Texas and Tulane in their final games for the weekend. Otherwise, they won't be playing for the American Conference Championship, but there is still a chance. But first things first tonight, Lugs, win the football game, and to do that, their star quarterback, Blake Horvath, has to step up again.
Well, and one of the most exciting offenses in college football, Blake Horvath, the entire offense runs through him, whether it's through the air, on the ground. You may think this is just your typical triple option Service Academy Ball Club. It's anything but. They're going to spread you out. They're going to get in the shotgun. They're going to run pass option. They're going to push the ball vertically in the passing game, and they've got the weapons to do it. This is a fun offense to watch.
This your Player Spotlight brought to you by Rocket Money, trying to become the first Navy quarterback in school history to rush for 1,000 and pass for 1,000 yards in consecutive seasons. If you have not seen Horvath play tonight, you're in for a treat. He is one of the most electric players in all of college football. On the other side of this, throughout most of the season, at least for the first half of the season, Memphis was the team out of the group of five that percentage chance had the best chance to make the college football playoff. They're going to fall short of that, but yet they still have a lot of talent they're bringing on the field tonight.
Oh, they are explosive, and really on both sides of the ball. This is a really talented football team. What they haven't been able to do is win one-possession games. Back-to-back losses, both by one possession, had some injuries and been heavily penalized on the offense side of the football. But when they are playing well and they don't have self-inflicted wounds, they may be, outside of South Florida, the most talented team in the league.
They get off to a 6-0 start. Then they're stunned by UAB after Trent Dilfer was fired. That was really the one that kind of put their season into a tailspin. They came back against South Florida to get the season back on track, but now they're coming into this game on a 2-game losing streak, which is what dropped them out of the American Conference Championship race. But as Harry Lyles will tell you, Harry, these players know there is still so much to play for in their final game at home.
Absolutely, Matt. Obviously, the goal for this Memphis team was to win the American Conference and potentially get a college football playoff berth. And while that is not on the table, quarterback Brendan Lewis told me that they want to go out with a bang for these seniors, get to 10 wins, have 3 consecutive 10-win seasons. It's a big accomplishment for Memphis football. When I spoke with linebacker Sam Brumfield, he added that regardless of the shortcomings of the season, they want to keep finding a way to win. He said it's something for this team to prove to themselves, given the losses that they have had this season. Now, I spoke with defensive back Kamari Wilson. He said the thing to do that tonight against this Navy offense, the biggest thing is do your job. He said it's about discipline, being physical, and running through somebody's face.
Yeah, and Harry, to button that thought up, for the first time in program history, Memphis can have 3 consecutive 9+ win seasons. That's in store tonight, and so is some fun football. Kickoff is next from Memphis. This has been the Rocket Money Kickoff. You are watching ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance, as you were watching the American Conference on ESPN. Probably the quietest you'll ever see Beale Street. I sent Lugs down there last night. He reported back today.
Shut it down.
All is well on Beale Street. We hope all is well with you on this Thanksgiving Thursday as we around our family, friends, loved ones. We can sit back tonight and watch a little college football, the only show in town. Memphis has won the toss. They will receive. We'll see Brendan Lewis and the Tigers offense first. Lance Gossett to kick. Sutton Smith to return. Sit back, relax. We're off and running on a Thursday night. And so is Greg DeWosier, one of the 2 running backs. We'll see from Memphis tonight. And Luke's Brendan Lewis, talented quarterback. He's been battling an ankle since UAB, but he's still very much a threat for this team.
Oh, there's no question about it. They've kind of had to play with him and tweak him in the pocket, try to keep him in the pocket, preserve that lower body injury. And I think that is going to determine how Navy decides to take on Brendan Lewis. Is he mobile? Can he move? Can he create with his legs? If so, they're going to probably back off and play light. If not, expect Navy to come after him.
And expect Memphis early on to gauge the advantage they have with the Navy secondary and take shots. DeWosier going to start the backfield for Memphis. 1st and 10. Lewis the play fake. Shot number 1, as expected. Has a man. Beat his coverage. Underthrown. That was intended for Jamari Hawkins, covered by Justin Ross, and Luke's right out of the gate. We knew they'd take shots. Quarterback's got to make that throw.
There's no question about it. You got to make it a little bit earlier. He had the guy. He's got a good step, a couple of steps, in fact. And you just got to unleash that football. I just think he held on to it a little bit too long.
They're aware of the size advantage they have with Navy and the receivers. They want to get aggressive early to see if they can take advantage of that matchup. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete. That's DeWosier. You've got Sutton Smith and DeWosier, 2 talented running backs, pretty much split carries throughout the season, but they love it that way. Tim Cramsey says, look, we'll split the carries and then we'll ride the hot hand.
Yeah, ride the hot hand. Sometimes get them on the field both at the same time. They're backs that are really good in space. If they get off to the second level, both can win foot races.
The 3rd back, we'll see Frank Peasant. He's in right now. And a 3rd and 8 to open the game for Memphis. Blitz comes, picked up. Lewis plenty of time. And again, as receiver beat, and this time overthrown. It was Hawkins again that got behind the defender. And they couldn't connect once again, Luke, or else we'd have 6 on the board, and it's going to force a punt.
Yeah, that's twice in one series where Jamari Hawkins is able to get a step or 2 on the Navy defender, and this ball just needed to be laid up with a little bit more air. Hawkins can't just quite catch up to it, and Navy forcing a 3 and out.
So the true freshman Lackland Kerrigan to punt. Brandon Chapman to receive for Navy, situated at his 30-yard line. So an early miss from Memphis. Chatham the fair catch at the 26. After a punt of 38. And here comes Blake Horvath in the Navy offense. And if you haven't had a chance to see them and what Drew Cronick, the offensive coordinator, has been doing, one of the most explosive offenses in the country.
Well, he's just made them more dynamic. And you just said it. If you asked most people following college football, who's the most explosive offense in America, you probably wouldn't guess Navy. Well, guess what? It's not just explosive on the ground. It's explosive through the air. Not just triple option. It's a little bit of everything.
You'll hear Horvath called numerous times tonight. Eli Heidenreich, Alex Teska, the stars of this Mids offense. Wouldn't be surprised if at some point you saw both quarterbacks on the field with Braxton Woodson. 1st down carry and a nice gain for Brandon Chapman. He was just back to receive the punt. That's a gain of 7.
Yeah, Brandon Chapman's going to be their offset wing in this offense, and he's their utility guy. You see the jet sweep motion. They want to get him on the perimeter quickly, but you saw the late shift with the tight end shifting over, getting in more of what looked like a triple option type of look. They're going to see a lot of that pre-snap tonight if you're Memphis on defense.
So from under center to the shotgun, Teska moves to Horvath's left. They'll run up the middle. It's Heidenreich, and he's going to have enough. Actually, no gain there by Drew Watts on the tackle. So it'll be a 3rd and 3 to open the series for Navy. Wonky snap. Horvath pays for it. And Samson Israel there for the Tigers. And a miscue there for Navy and a loss of 5, and they'll be forced to punt.
Yeah, they're going to hand it off on the jet sweep here, but that ball's slightly high, gets mishandled by Horvath. Not enough time to get control of it and get it down and into the hands of the runner. And trading blows here on the first 2 series for both Memphis and Navy, trying to get a feel for each other on offense.
So Jacob Carlson to punt. Sutton Smith deep to receive. Smith runs up on it, and then runs into his own player. Made a couple of Navy players miss, but then he ran into his own. Punt to 32 and a return of 2. It'll be Memphis for the second time tonight. Early zeros. Best way to stay warm tonight. Dress up like a tiger. 0-0 here in the first as we take a look at our Impacts players built by the Home Depot.
Take a look at these Impact players. Here we go. Starting off with Memphis.
Yeah, we'll hold that.
We'll get to him in just 1 second.
We're just going to leave you in suspense. So 1st and 10, Memphis. Lewis going to run, and that's a good look to see how that ankle is going to be tonight. Got a decent gain on 1st down and a gain of 5, and now we take a look at our Impact players built by the Home Depot.
That's right, we are, Matt. All right, starting off with Memphis, you've got Greg DeRosier, as you just mentioned, the running back. He'll split some time, but he's a big playmaker. Sam Brumfield on defense leads the charge with 89 tackles on the season. And Eli Heidenreich and Landon Robinson, one of the top defensive tackles in the country for Navy.
Lewis to the left. That's a good shot and a good catch by Marcelo Bussey, and that'll be a 1st down, Tigers.
Excellent timing route by Brendan Lewis right there. Get back, get set, get the ball out, no hesitation. 10 to 12 yard speed cut out on the outside. In rhythm, on time.
So in Navy territory, big play from Memphis. There's a gain of 13. Smith, 1st carry of the night for him to the left side. Good job by Navy. How about that defense corralling Smith? No gain. Adam Klink and Justin Ross there.
Adam Klink does a great job of setting the edge, not allow himself to get hooked to the inside. And then secondary run support coming up from the back end into the boundary. Really good team defense right there from Navy.
Lewis to the right. Smith, good individual effort out of the backfield. And a gain of 6. So now 3rd and 4. And Smith. So decision time now. You would imagine Luke's here 4 down territory.
I think so. They got some momentum. We're seeing a little bit of tempo from Memphis. I think it's a great spot of the field, and the analytics will tell you that as well.
And they've converted on 70% of their 4th downs this year. That's good for 13th in the country. You've got a good complement of a big quarterback and talented running backs, but right now it's an empty backfield for Lewis as Navy's going to make some substitutions. And now the Tigers shift back in. It's Peasant in the backfield. There's a flag on the play as Peasant stopped short.
Well, it's not going to matter, Matt, as Navy had too many men on the field, and they were trying to rush him off late at the last second. He almost got off, but not quite. It's going to be a fresh set of downs.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on defense. That 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
You see Brian Newberry not happy with the call.
What he's upset about is he didn't feel like they gave enough time for his guys to substitute, and the center judge backed away from the offensive center to free the offense up for play.
So Memphis takes advantage. They get a first down. New set of downs. DeWosier in the backfield. And that's DeWosier off the left side. And a good first down gain for him, brought down by Mark Anthony Parker, and a gain of 4. So, Luke, this drive, 113-yard pass, staying heavily on the ground after a couple of missed shots on their opening possession.
Well, and most importantly, they've been playing clean football. This is an offense that has hurt themselves with penalties. They've had 19 false starts on the season, so they're staying ahead of the chains here.
7th play of the drive. DeWosier remains in the backfield. And he's going to get it again. Has a crease up the middle. And you can see that develop from up here. Stretch play to the right side. Middle opened up. Key block by Malachi Breland, and a gain of 9 and a first down.
Really good vision by DeWosier right here. Just seeing it, putting his foot in the ground and getting north and south. Lowering his shoulder, falling forward. It's a really nice drive, particularly on the ground for Memphis, setting the tone here early.
So now Sutton Smith in for the Tigers. And a gain of 2. It was Julian Mutame and Anthony Parker again. And an impressive drive here from Memphis, their second of the game, midway through the first quarter.
Yeah, let's see if Navy starts creeping up to the line of scrimmage, kind of closing in on the box a little bit. Not as much real estate behind them to defend, to see if they can come up with an extra hat or two in the box to stop this Memphis run game.
So Peasant back in the backfield. He's been active with the other 2 running backs. And he gets stopped after a gain of 1. You know, it's interesting. You got one running back that's a decathlete. You got one running back, they say, in Peasant that does everything right. And then you got Sutton Smith, battled injuries a year ago, but he's back and playing well. And you get the idea, Luke, that the talent that's on this roster, why there were so many expectations to start this season.
Well, and especially when you consider there were 78 new players on this roster and the choices they made in the transfer portal, obviously quality choices, and they've got a tremendous amount of depth.
78 new players. That's quite the orientation to start the season. 3rd and 7. Lewis swings it out of the backfield, looking for a block, and that is great form tackling out of Navy. They recognized it immediately, led by Nick Bell, bringing it down to DeWosier in a loss of 1.
What a fantastic open field tackle. Nick Bell, just a sophomore. This is a youthful area, this Navy defense. They've had some ups, they've had some downs, but they like these youngsters, and to be able to get out in space, make this tackle. You don't make that tackle, you're off to the races. Excellent red zone defense from Navy.
So Johnny Spedick, field goal attempt to 31 to get Memphis on the board. And it's good. So Spedick gives Memphis an early 3-0 lead. Impressive drive, 11 plays, 46 yards. Tigers on top.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Huggy, Gage, Wiggy, and our fantastic crew. Becky,
hey,
keeps everything together. As our crew back in Charlotte as well. You guys are the best. Happy Thanksgiving. Ethan hanging out. He's another one of the brains behind the operation. We just show up when they tell us to. You travel for 12-plus weeks with everybody. Everyone's away from their families on Thanksgiving. They've been our family for the last 3+ months. Can't thank them enough. Shep up here in the booth with us. So much work goes into every single week, and we can't thank all of them enough for everything they do. So 3-0 Memphis. It'll be Navy's second time on the ball. And a rare miscue for Navy that last time out with the high snap to Horvath on a 3rd down.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. This isn't a team, obviously disciplined, tough, doesn't hurt themselves. And that botched snap really cost them, because I thought they had the perimeter and had the edge on Memphis, had him outflanked. 7-0 Memphis this season when scoring first. Obviously playing at home here tonight as well.
I'd like to shout out my guy Stanley, who did all the work with us. Sports Center on the road, Sports Center on campus. He hangs out in the booth with us as well. So thanks again to everyone and all of their hard work. Back to football now. That's Teska on first down. They lead the FBS, does Navy, in yards per carry at 6.39. And it's really only a matter of time. Over 305 rushing yards a game, 308. That leads FBS as well. They kind of just body blow you until they break one.
They body blow you, and then boom, it's a 60-yarder. Boom, it's a 40-yarder. That's what's been so impressive about this version of Navy's offense in 2025.
A quick hitter up the middle for 2. But again, this isn't your grandfather's Navy offense. This is true chronic. At least we haven't seen it yet tonight. But we've seen the base principles early. Yeah. But they'll drop Horvath back, and he'll throw. He's got over 1,200 yards on the season.
Yep.
He'll sling it on you.
And they'll put it over the top, too, because you get everybody creeping up, so worried about run, quarterback run. So far on this series, we've seen midline. We have seen veer. On the previous series, we saw jet sweep. We've seen inside zone. It's a lot to prepare for.
So Teska and Chapman in the backfield. That's a shovel pass right up the middle. A great play design there. That was Teska for 6 and a first down, brought down by the Virginia Tech transfer Sam Brumfield.
Another way of running some option. You're just flipping it underneath on the shovel pass. Really well executed. Now a little tempo for Navy getting up to the line of scrimmage.
That's a good option outside. There goes Chapman, had some space. Memphis closed quickly after 3. Looked like that opened up a little bit bigger than it did. But how about Chris Bracey getting there to close it down?
Well, big time. Chris Bracey comes up and makes that tackle on the perimeter. But how quick did that pitch have to happen from Blake Horvath? That's how dialed in he is in this offense and split-second decisions.
When Blake Horvath gets going, he really is one of the most special players in the country. Our coaching staff called him a leader among leaders. Eli Heidenreich, another one of the offensive stars, corralled after 1. You know, Horvath, he's a captain. He's a finalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman. And oh, by the way, he's going to be a naval pilot.
Gotta love it.
And I can't understand if the Heisman Trophy, which, by the way, he was alerted by the Heisman Trust, he would be in the mix as a candidate.
Sure.
If you're looking for the most outstanding player in college football, maybe the most outstanding person in college football with the stats to back it up, and he's going to be a Navy pilot. Again, I'll mention that again. He's flying planes after leading Navy's offense. 3rd down. Overthrown. Intended for Theo Elwell. And not the best start for the mids on offense. They're going to be forced to punt again, lose.
Yeah, and Blake Horvath is going to wish he had that one back. He just airmailed this up and high to the right. And he had an open target on the speed cut out with Elwell. And you're right, not that they're necessarily getting behind the chains. They just haven't been able to get any continuity going and get themselves past midfield.
And when it works, it's poetry in motion when the offense is in sync. And they're going to fake it on 4th down. How about Navy? But there's a flag on the play. They had the fake dialed up and called. It was Landon Robinson, the nose guard, the big fella, and it's going to be coming back.
I think they're going to get Matt Reyes for a hold.
Offense number 97. 10-yard penalty. 4th down.
But by the way, can we talk about how athletic Landon Robinson just looked? I mean,
you see it right on the edge right there is going to be the hold, and he tries to let go and give the I'm not guilty at the very last second and gives himself away. Love the play call, love the aggressiveness, and it's too bad it's a wasted play based off a penalty.
Negates what would have been an 18-yard gain and a 1st down. So now Navy's going to have to punt it to Sutton Smith, a low line drive. That's going to take Smith back beyond this 20. And a good punt there by Jacob Carlson. 54 yards to the 15. Memphis, 3-0 lead. Ball when we return. What a career it's been for Ryan Silverfield, head coach here at Memphis. You see his success since 2020. That's a notable list he's on right now, especially the top guy and the bottom guy. Eli Drinkwitz announcing an extension with Missouri. Today, Lane Kiffin, who the hell knows? But I look forward to that decision. They've got the Egg Bowl tomorrow night, or tomorrow day rather, noon Eastern, ABC. Is DeWosier back in the backfield? From Memphis, up 3-0. Lewis going to throw on first down. He's pressured, able to get out of it, just throws it away. Smart play by him. Luke Pierce led the charge along with Coleman Cauley. And I haven't seen anything yet, Luke, but it's cold tonight. We got to wait and see and watch that ankle.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's got the initial burst that he's normally had. And what you've noticed is Navy defensively, when they are pressuring, they're pressuring up the middle between the A-gaps, between the center and the guard, between the guard and the tackle, try to push him and get him lateral and see if they can get him uncomfortable.
Navy showing pressure. They bring it off the edge. Lewis feels it, not going to be able to get out of it this time. Navy brought the house, and Xavier Arrington and Marcus Blizzard were there. A loss of 8.
They're going to bring pressure here, and then here late, along with that front. And again, trying to get the middle of the pocket heated up so Brendan Lewis doesn't have a front door to take off and run.
So now 3rd and 18 deep in their own territory. DeWosier the back. Lewis to throw out of his own end zone. Takes what he can get over the middle of the field. And a good gain at that from DeWosier, but not going to be enough for a first down. A gain of 12. And just like we said in the open from last year's game, defensive battle.
Yeah, right.
Exactly what we thought.
Well, I like the game plan with Navy defensively right now. They're starting to get the sense that you're not going to see a lot out of Brendan Lewis with his legs and that initial burst as a runner. So they're going to come after him in his face because they don't feel he can go left to right.
Yeah, first time we've seen them heat him up in their 3rd possession of the game. That's Chapman. And a fair catch at the 42-yard line after a punt of 39. I mentioned 122nd Egg Bowl. Did Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Georgia and Georgia Tech. Both those teams in the clubhouse with their conference play. And then how about Texas A&M and Texas? A&M looking to clinch their spot in the SEC championship game. Texas clinging on to some playoff hopes. There isn't anything better than rivalry weekend in college football. I had an opportunity to call the Egg Bowl 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. And what ended up not knowing at the time Mike Leach's final game. And I can tell you, having worked alongside Dan Mullen and calling that game, they are not exchanging pleasantries ever. Is Horvath. There's the shot over the middle. They will open it up. They'll go through the air. They are Navy. A gain of 27 to Chapman, brought down by Chris Bracey.
Yeah, Chapman just breaks out down the seam from his wing position off the tackle. Really good throw and catch.
And here
there.
comes the tempo. There's Heidenreich off the right side. Spins, gains, and that's what they'll do. They're one of those offenses, Lugs, that when that first play gets activated, they're off and going.
Well, and think about it. The last drive, we saw option principles. We saw midline in veer, your traditional service academy stuff. This time we've seen some play action down the field, jet sweep. It's always something new each series.
So a gain of 7 to end the first quarter. Memphis up 3-0, but here comes Navy. Big play to Chapman and a 7-yard gain by Heidenreich. Happy Thanksgiving. Go get you some dessert. Second quarter on the way.
Welcome back to Memphis, where the Tigers lead Navy 3-0. Coach, how would you evaluate your team's play in the first quarter, and what adjustments do you want to see out of them?
Yeah, the defense is doing a nice job stopping the run. We know how effective they are. Obviously, we can't give up that explosive pass play. And then offensively, we got to protect better, and we missed the 2 explosive passes early in the first quarter.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You see Navy there, Harry. Coach, thank you. The lowest offensive output in the first quarter, but a little bit of momentum to end it now. Is Shane Reynolds in the backfield, and Navy looking to pounce here, start of the second quarter. That's going to be early movement from Memphis. Wise for the offensive lineman to reach out and touch Taylor Burton's going to be 5 yards. First time here from Charles Lambertina tonight.
Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
So now 1st and 5. Reynolds remains in. The pitch to the outside to Chapman. He's been busy tonight. A nice game there on 1st down. It's going to pick up 8 and move the chains again. Navy in position now. Check that, 2nd and 2.
It's an excellent job pitching off the unblocked man, number 6, Everett Russo, off the edge for Memphis, and it happened so quick. That's where Blake Horvath processes so well and is such an operator of this scheme. He rarely makes a mistake when it comes to ball handling.
Horvath keeps it. It's going to be a gain of 4, and that's going to be 1st and goal. We are dealing with some chain issues down on the sideline. We're trying to keep it as accurate as we can up here in the booth. They're down 2 people.
We're missing half of the 10-yard chains.
We're missing half the crew. So there's no line of scrimmage on the yard marker. There's just a yard marker and another chain. So we'll do this old school. So 31 TDs on 43 attempts in the red zone for Navy on the season. Teska stopped. Gain of 1. Drew Watts right there, 2nd and goal. Luke, with this type of offense, with all the eye candy and everything they can do, how built for the red zone are they? A lot of teams, when the field shrinks, they struggle.
Right.
Navy seems opposite.
Navy's opposite because Navy is capable of spreading it out, getting into the shotgun, widening the field, loosening up the box, as opposed to being so condensed with multiple tight ends and offset wings. And that's what you're going to see right here. Let's see what they come out with this.
Horvath. Up the middle, stuffed. Brumfield popped him. So 3rd and goal. Horvath, 13 rushing TDs on the year. What does Memphis key on here?
The quarterback. It's going to run through him some way, shape, or form. And now you see them in more of a spread trips formation, tied into the bottom of the screen.
There goes the quarterback. Horvath, shovel pass. Touchdown, Navy. How about some improv magic from Horvath to Kendall Evans, and the mids take the lead.
Well, that's what you do, right? When you can't get your shoulders turned and actually throw the football normally, you find a way to just pitch it. Got a little pressure and you can't turn your shoulders and get square with the line of scrimmage. Unbelievable play on the perimeter by Blake Horvath.
And how about Kendall Evans knowing how to move with the quarterback?
Settling in that open void there in the zone.
You know what's funny is when you talk to the Memphis coaching staff, Jordan Hankins, defensive coordinator, said, how would you describe Blake Horvath? He looks at me, laughs, and he goes, a magician. And you saw it right there. You saw the magic man on that 7-play, 57-yard drive.
So we're going to see the sprint out right here, but you're going to see pressure coming up. But watch right there. We're just going to sit right inside there and going to settle in the void of the zone. Excuse me, I got the wrong target coming back the other way. Wrong 84. I saw 24 on the jersey number right there.
It's Thanksgiving. It was turkey hands. So Navy, an impressive drive to go down the field. Early sputters in the first quarter, Lugs, but they used that momentum at the end of the first and took it right down the field to take a 7-3 lead.
Yeah, and trying a little bit of everything. As we mentioned, they're spreading them out. They're getting into condensed formations. You're seeing some triple options, some quarterback run, quarterback counter. It's a lot to prepare for. Even with an off week leading into the football game, Navy's a handful on offense.
So Sutton Smith deep to receive. He'll get a running start at the 10. That's DeWosier who got it. Tries to cut it back past the 20. He's going to be held shy of the 25-yard line. It is time now for our drive recap. Brought to you by Target. We talked about the big plays. They kind of needed a couple to jumpstart it. This one was to Tesco over the middle of the field. Check that, Chapman over the middle of the field. And then they used Chapman again to set up the scoring drive.
Yeah, off of the option, and then they get into the shotgun, roll the quarterback left. He can't get his shoulder square. Nevertheless, finds Evans, 84. Just settling that open void. Now let's see what Memphis has for an answer.
So Navy was able to get the pressure to Lewis on the last drive. They're going to throw. He's going to check it down over the middle to Sutton Smith. And a gain of 5. Last drive, Lewis was trying to look around the field. Navy was able to get pressure on him. That one just kind of a short dunk to get a little something.
Well, just get the ball out of your hand. You heard Coach Ryan Silverfield tell Harry, hey, listen, we got to do a better job of protecting him. We can't miss those explosive opportunities.
They missed 2 of them on the opening drive. Lewis to throw again. He's able to escape the pressure, and he'll have enough for a first down, Memphis. And again, I don't want to keep harping on it, but that's what he does well. He's a dual threat quarterback, and that just wasn't there after the UAB game.
Well, in that particular instance, too, he's going straight ahead. He's not having to move left to right. That's going to help him as he aids that injured ankle.
That was a gain of 13. Quick tempo. Lewis out. Bussey on the reception. And now both offenses got a little lube in their pistons. Maybe some of that tryptophan to start the game.
Flush it out of their system.
Got some of those carbs going now, and a gain of 10. They're coming over from the NFL game. The Dallas Cowboys beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome in Tom Lugan, Bill Matt Berry, Harry Lyles. Some college football on a Thursday, and Lewis taking a shot. Trying for Bussey again, covered by Cam Robinson. That was just good one-on-one football.
Yeah, Cam Robinson's a true freshman, keeping track right there. Listen, if Brendan Lewis could get this ball and bring the target over to the middle of the field, instead he throws it up and outside the right hash mark, really no shot to get to that football. Just been a little off in the vertical passing game for Brandon Lewis tonight.
They've had opportunities early, as you heard Silverfield say, hit the big play. They're going to try to hit DeWosier up the middle. A minimal gain there on second down, a gain of 2. Going to bring up 3rd and 8. Cauley on the tackle. We talked about Memphis, a talented team. Fell short of their expectations. However, they're going bowling for an 11th consecutive season. And again, 9 consecutive wins is the goal for 3 consecutive seasons. That'd be a school record. Lewis, good shot over the middle. That's Brady Cluse, and that's a gain of 15.
Really nice throw on the in cut here from Brendan Lewis. Gets back, gets set, delivers a strike. Cluse coming across, securing the football. And nice answer now, Matt, here from Memphis offensively.
Peasant was able to pick up the blitz. Key block. Gave Lewis a little extra time. And now Peason on the ground. He had space to the right, cut it up the middle for one. So now, Luke, you're really starting to see the game plans take for both teams. Memphis is going to be very aggressive with the run, but we know that they know they can go deep.
Yeah,
it's whether or not they can land one. 8th play of the drive coming up. Lewis going to run. Has wide open middle of the field. Boy, did that thing part. Lewis picks up 24, and it's going to be 1st and goal, Memphis.
You notice nobody's in the middle of the field right here, and they're going to bring pressure off through the B gap right there. And Brendan Lewis does an excellent job of just taking the front door. Nobody in the middle of the field. You got the lead block from Peason, and Memphis in business.
I mean, there was so much grass. And another successful red zone team here, right up the gut. Peason thought he had the goal line until he didn't. Giuseppe Sessi there. It's going to be 2nd and goal. I'd say early on positives too for Memphis that Lewis looks healthy enough, because that's a dynamic Navy's defense did not have to put up with.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And right now, this is a really nice run game package we've seen for this entire drive from Memphis.
The team's leading rusher with 33 yards is Lewis. Low snap. End zone, touchdown, Tigers. A little gobble-gobble from Matt Adcock. And Memphis regains the lead. So back-to-back impressive drives by both offenses. You see Memphis took it 10 plays, 75 yards. And we're an extra point away from this one being 10-7.
$75-yard drive capped off as we're going to run fake it here and leak out Adcock right there into the flat. Nice, easy pitch and catch off with a play fake in the background. Dink and dunk. Execution at its finest on Thanksgiving night in Memphis, Tennessee. Tigers take the lead.
All right, solid answer from Memphis, up 10-7 now. Lewis was 4-5 on the drive for 31 yards. There is the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who will take on the trophy this year? That guy. Just give it to him. That's a lot of lettuce on a taco.
Yeah.
Like, bro, get your portions right.
Yeah, we need a little heavier meat, cheese.
The tortilla's small.
Yep. Sour cream.
Oh, sour cream.
Yeah.
So you get dirty with a taco. Bryant at his 2 to the 20. 25 spin. So plus 3 yards when you consider a touchback gives you 25 yards. What a season it's been for Navy. We talked about the Mids starting off. They started 7-0 for the first time since 1978. Blake Horvath, a big deal for that. Lost back-to-back games. North Texas, why they have the tiebreaker difference with them. North Texas does. Then they lost to Notre Dame, but the big one against South Florida. And then 18-5 the last 2 seasons as Navy is trying for back-to-back 10-win seasons in program history. So Teska and Heidenreich both in the backfield. Good job by Memphis on Teska. And no gain. Lugs, did you know this is Navy's first Thanksgiving game since 1898?
That shocks me.
It shocks me.
Right?
Yeah. I don't even know if we had aircraft carriers back then. 1898, the last Thanksgiving game. We've had Memphis consecutive years on Thanksgiving, but Navy's been dodging us for, what's the quick math on that, 160 years, 150 years?
We were talking to the coaches on the field, though. They were fired up, man, with the Thanksgiving football and crisp evening.
Horvath to throw. Had the receiver just out of the reach of Jordan Collins. That was a good design play. You had Collins back there and you had Heidenreich, and Horvath unable to hit.
Yeah, that would have been a tough throw. You had to layer that right over that underneath defender. Jordan Collins, the freshman out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Navy's got some injuries at tight end right now, but when they're healthy at that position, this offense is even more dynamic. They've been having to work around that now with a big third down coming up.
And to that end, Cody Howard, tight end, out, as is Jake Norris, and a 3rd and long. Horvath on the run, trying to make a play downfield. That's Heidenreich, flag, and caught. They're wrestling for it on the ground. Not going to matter because there's a flag on the play. That's DeMarco Ward and Heidenreich wrestling.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
So it's Heidenreich on the reception, and no offense to Memphis. If I'm going to get a guy grappling me, I'm going to take the guy from Navy.
Look at everybody chops, everybody down the line of scrimmage. Now watch this shot Horvath takes. Throws it up, and throw it up to the guy you know is going to make a play, your best playmaker. And they wanted to throw this ball underneath. That's why they had the cut blocks right there in front of them. Get the ball out of your hand, get a fresh set of downs. Instead, Horvath pops right up after a huge completion to get into the high red.
Everett Rosaw got the pop on him. Gain of 46. Here goes Navy again. Here goes Horvath again. Everyone covered. Here goes Horvath. Makes a cut. Tripped down by DeMarco Ward, or else he was in for 6 and a gain of 22. You're getting the full Blake Horvath experience now.
It's so difficult. You want to be able to drop and play coverage, but you got to account for his legs.
Teska stopped by Whitlow Jr. for 2. And we talked about it probably about 15 minutes ago. These guys will get you little by little. They'll pop some big ones.
Well, that's it. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You see now for back-to-back season, first quarterback with 1,000 pass and 1,000 rush yards in back-to-back seasons for Navy. And you're right. It's chip away, chip away, chip away, bloody your nose a little bit, and then boom, a shot to change field position.
Up the middle, touchdown Navy. Now we're cooking with deep fried turkey. The offenses have woken up. 6 plays, 72 yards. That was Teska. 24th career touchdown for him. And his high school teammate Eli Heidenreich set it up with the 46-yard catch. So, Luke, we said it. This isn't your grandfather's Navy. You got a quarterback who can scramble, take shots, a big play, set it all up.
Little Roger Staubach right there from this Navy offense with a big answer. Then it's Horvath on the ground with his feet before handing it off to Teska to get in the end zone. Navy with an answer. Memphis, what do you have?
ESPN Thursday Night College Football, presented by Liberty Mutual, is brought to you by Verbo. Vacation rentals done right.
Another fantastic season of the Group of 5 and Group of 6. It is really, really good football. We spent most of our season in the American. Tulane has Charlotte. Again, Navy needs to win tonight. They need help from Tulane, and they need help from North Texas because of that tiebreaker. And what's been a fantastic season for the American. This is good football now. You know, Eric Morris, he's the story going to Oklahoma State.
Sure.
He'll coach North Texas through their run. John Summerall's got Tulane rolling again. Memphis talented, Navy talented, South Florida. It's DeWosier at the 15. Trying to cut across the field. A nice open field tackle there to slow him down by Philip Hamilton. As you take a look at the best chance percentage to reach the college football playoff. I know Summerall's not going to like this. He's going to call it rat poison. But right now they have Charlotte over the weekend. They are the highest ranked group of 5 teams, so they would host the championship game of the win. And then you got North Texas, and JMU's just kind of hanging out.
Well, they're just hanging out right there in the middle. But this American Conference in the race for the championship, seems like that graphic changes every week because there's a razor-thin margin of error in this conference. That's how competitively balanced it is.
Retzlaff v. Mestemaker might make a good American championship game. As that was Sutton Smith on first down, a nice pickup of 8. I have a feeling Eric Morris, not the only American coach that could be departing. That's for another Saturday. Right now it's Smith continuing to run physically for the Tigers and a gain of 7 and a first down. But that's kind of the life in college football, right?
Sure.
You win big at this level. You have some exciting offenses. If you're Alex Golesh at South Florida, you've got an intimidating physical defense. If you're John Sumrall at Tulane, Eric Morris, the high-flying offense. Ryan Silverfield's name has been brought up with some of the vacancies. It's a good league with a lot of good talent and really great coaches.
Yeah, John Sumrall has a chance to have all 4 years as a head coach to play for a championship game.
Play fake from Lewis. Pressure coming. Able to get out of there. And a flag is down in the backfield. That one likely coming back. Luke Pierce was held.
Yeah, Parker Mitchell.
Holding. Offense number 32. 10-yard penalty. First down.
As we button up this conversation on the American, then you get a team like UTSA, who we saw at home. They're a wagon.
Oh, they are
in
big
San
time.
Antonio.
Yep. See number 32 right there. We're going in motion across to the right of your screen. He takes on Luke Pierce, number 35. A little tug, a little grab.
So now 1st and 20, and now another flag on Memphis.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Story of the season for Memphis. These drive-killing penalties. They're averaging 2 false starts a game.
That's the 20th on the year, and just false starts, not counting holding penalties. This is what's held this offense back from being good to elite.
So 3 penalties for 20 yards, and now 1st and 25. Lewis with time. Checks it out of the backfield to Duosier. Tackled immediately. In the game against UAB, Duosier looked as if he had a touchdown. It was called a touchdown. It was reviewed. It was called back. Then they had 3 false start penalties from the 3-yard line.
From the 3-yard line, yeah.
And that ended up being a killer for them as they would lose to UAB, who had just fired their head coach, Trent Dilfer. Our dear colleague Chris Mortensen, the late great Chris Mortensen, his son, the interim, got the win that day. And a good shot to the outside as Cortez Braham. First time we've called Braham's name, and that's going to be a flag on Giuseppe Sessi. A late hit and some uncharacteristic discipline from Navy. And that'll move the chains right back.
Yeah, Sessi's got Braham on the sideline right here and clearly over the white.
The play was over. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, defense number 16.
It would have been a 3rd and long.
Automatic. First down.
Yeah, it was the throw down at the end, and you're right, it would have been 3rd and long. So now, with the penalties for Memphis, Navy gives one back and a fresh set of downs for the Tigers.
And lucky for Braham, he wasn't going to get thrown into the chain gang. As Duosier remains in the backfield. So 1st and 10 after the penalty. Duosier. Bottled up. Gain of 1. So we approach the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. Remember, Memphis started with the ball. Final play before the 2-minute timeout. And Lewis, you see the arm strength. When he plants that back foot and takes the shot to Kluse for 12, it comes out quick.
Well, and he can help himself out a lot when it comes to pass protection by just getting the ball out of his hand. He does a nice job of it right there.
So Memphis moving the ball. They're down 14-10 at the 2-minute timeout, but they're driving. We got a fun one here in Memphis on Thanksgiving night. You know I do, Zubik's Cube. Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern at my place. I'll be on the couch being a college football fan as the Sun Devils are taking on Arizona and Tempe. 1st and 10, Memphis. Lewis, 11 of his last 13 after starting 0 for 2. Julian Mudeme got his hands on. What a story Mudeme is. Emigrated from Cameroon at 7 years old, was watching football with his cousin, fell in love with the Baltimore Ravens, and now he's here at the Naval Academy, almost had a pick. Lewis on a shot, caught! Touchdown! We'll see what the flag is. It's offsides. Oh my, that's gonna count. 38 yards, Cortez Braham, a player they said is having a breakout season. How about that?
Well, Justin Ross is in phase with a number 17, the corner for Navy. Lewis just throws this up, and the focus and concentration by Braham off of the tip, running out of real estate to the back end line of the end zone. It just flat out makes a play.
That was special. 8 plays, 77 yards. And another lead change here in the first half. It is the 4th. Free play. Chucks it up. Braham. Concentration. Memphis regains the lead. Oh, this is fun. Thanksgiving night. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. 4 lead changes here in the second quarter, as Memphis is up 17-14. The midshipmen with the ball, 3 timeouts, and they get the ball to start the third quarter. What a big swing this could be for Navy if they can march it down and get a score. Spedic to kick. Isaiah Bryant, deep for Navy. That's a fair catch into the end zone, or a touchback into the end zone, rather, as we check in with Harry.
Yeah, Matt, I spoke with Eli Heidenreich earlier this week, and he said the most impressive thing about Blake Horvath is his command and poise as the leader of this offense. He says regardless of how things are going, good or bad, he sets the tone. He's got a big opportunity here, Matt, to set the tone here with 2 minutes to go, see if they get a score before going into the half.
This is a quarterback who's been playing this option offense since the 7th grade. By then, you have mastery level of it. You bring in chronic and you add some other dimensions to it.
Well, I think they're having a lot more fun, too, because they realize, hey, this isn't just your granddaddy's triple option. We're spreading things out here. We're doing all kinds of different concepts, and it's attractive in recruiting as well.
I mean, to that end, Braxton Woodson, their backup quarterback, he's a good-looking player also.
Yep.
Was key in that South Florida win. Horvath thought about pitching it. He did late. My good, you've got to have confidence if you're going to pitch that one. He did to Chapman. Not only was it not a disaster, they eked out 1 yard.
Look how quick Blake Horvath's hands are. Just the ball just pops out of there so quickly at the last second. Drew Watts bearing down on him.
I want to call him a point guard, but I don't think that's giving him enough credit, because he can do so many things, can Horvath. including throw over the middle of the field. Again, incomplete. That was intended for Lake Hutchison. Had his hands on it, couldn't hang on. Drew Watts pressured him. This is a good throw, and he couldn't hang on to it. Good defense there by Jeremiah Jordan, Lou.
Yeah, that's just a good defensive play. Meet and hand the ball. And a big third down now for Memphis if they can get off the field here, knowing Navy gets the ball coming out of the locker room to start the third quarter.
Not only that, 3 timeouts from Memphis if they get the ball back with their offense humming. Here comes the blitz. Horvath tries to get away. Nothing there, and he just has to chuck it at the defender. Kamari Wilson led the charge. Memphis wants grounding. Didn't go past the line of scrimmage, and there's the flag.
Not only that, he threw it right on the ground directly in front of him instead of forward towards where there was a target.
So that's going to be a spot foul, loss of down.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 11. Spot foul and loss of down. This foul requires a 10-second run-up. However, Memphis has declined a 10-second run-off. Clock is correct. It's 4th down.
That's a loss of 13.
So you've got Chapman right there, and you've also got 36 in the true freshman, Jordan Collins.
I think if there was more of an effort, instead of throwing it at the defender's feet, maybe they don't throw the flag. Either way, Sutton Smith and Memphis have a golden opportunity here with 3 timeouts. That's Smith at the 45. And that's where he's going to stay. There's a flag down. It's going to be against Navy. It's going to be holding.
Ryan Silverfield gets some instruction on whether or not he wants to force them to kick it again.
Each team penalized 3 times here in the first half. What would you do, Lubes? I'd say kick again.
I would force him to kick it because...
Holding. Offense number 0. Half the distance to the goal. 4th down.
Listen, you can flush your irons and driver all day and then just shank one out of nowhere.
There's
so
no
it's
question.
smart to repunt it.
Well, and if you don't, you catch the ball around midfield, you're probably going to gain 5 to 7 yards on a minimal return here if you field the punt. You see the returner right there from Memphis. He's on the plus 45-yard line.
By the way, speaking of golf, TGL coming up December 28th, new season. It's going to get golf in no matter what. All right, so the re-kick. Sutton Smith. Okay, he caught it right at the same yard line, 45, but here he's able to advance into Navy territory, so they probably picked him about 6 or 7 on the re-kick, a 48-yard punt, a 6-yard return. WWE Survivor Series War Games return Saturday night from Petco Park in San Diego. Stacks card. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar. 5-on-5 locks 2-ring steel cage match. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Streaming on the ESPN app with the unlimited plan. The WWE Survivor Series, a Thanksgiving week tradition since 1987. We've got a steel cage match here between Navy and Memphis. The ball right at midfield. That was Smith motioning out. That's Smith on the catch. For a second, he looked like he wanted to drop back and throw it, but there wasn't a receiver released downfield. It's going to be 5 for Smith, and Memphis is going to use one of his 3 timeouts.
Memphis takes their first charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Really well-played football game here by both teams. Minimal penalties. Again, Navy with 4, Memphis with 3. First quarter a bit sloppy, but now 14 points each here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's where the lead changes. A swap back and forth. It's been a great second quarter. Both of these teams just kind of traded blows early, getting a feel for where each other were, and then both seem to have cracked the code offensively.
And Lewis, as we mentioned, started the game 0 for 2. But since then, he's been on fire, finding his rhythm to the tune of 13 of 16. 125 yards and the 2 touchdowns, but none better than that Cortez Braham touchdown a moment ago, the bobble and the catch to give Memphis the lead. So 36 seconds left in the first half, still 2 timeouts. Pressure. He's able to get out of it. That's a good job keeping his eyes downfield, and that's going to be a first down Memphis. Navy brought the heat. He was able to get out of it and find Bryce Anderson for 13.
Brendan Lewis does a nice job of securing the football, keeping his eyes downfield, hurrying up now.
And they're going to save the timeout with the hurry up, and again he's off his spot. And that one he just throws away. Navy wanted a hold. 18 seconds left as Jackson Campbell forced the throw from Lewis.
Good, smart, heady play by Brendan Lewis right there. Just live to play the next down. Plenty of time left. Still got 2 timeouts.
And really, with 2 timeouts, Lewis, you could probably pop a run if you wanted to.
Sure.
Get yourself some yardage, get back to the middle of the field. And there it is. Right up the gut. Asking you shall receive. Peasant's the big run. He's been fun to watch in this first half. 19 yards. Memphis in business, brought down by Cam Robinson, and they'll use their second timeout.
Yeah, now you got some choices to take shots into the end zone, not just set yourself up for 3.
And with 12 seconds, that's plenty of time to take a couple if you want them.
No doubt. And listen, we've touched on it here in the last series or 2. To get a touchdown here, if you're Memphis, knowing Navy comes out of the locker room, as we see Peasant doing a nice job lowering his shoulder, protecting the ball, falling forward, this would be a huge swing for Memphis to get that stop on defense, force the punt, great field position, and mount to drive here to close it off with 6.
Right now, between Lewis, he's the leading rusher, but Peasant with 24 yards, Sutton Smith with 20, DeRosier with 19. Even split at the running backs, all of them contributing tonight. So probably time for 2 shots at the end zone, huh, Luke?
Yeah, I think 2 shots at the end zone. Got to look for where your main guy, Cortez Braham, has been. He's got the long touchdown. A 2 high safety look with Navy right now, about 10 yards from the ball.
Checks it down to Smith out of the backfield. Not much going there. And they're going to have to use that final timeout with 5 seconds left. So that play took a little bit longer to develop. Weren't able to get a shot off to the end zone.
Yeah, I just don't know if I like that call. It doesn't give you an opportunity to at least get 1 shot. Now you got no shots to the end zone for a chance to get 6. And that was just a bad design because you turned it back inside. Now you're forced to use a timeout and the clock's winding down.
And a good job by Navy's defense to minimize the damage. They make this field goal 20-14 at the half if they make it, and they start with the ball, does Navy.
Yep.
For 20 years, All-State has celebrated every field goal and extra points made at participating universities by donating to the university's Athletic Scholarship Fund, supporting all student athletes. As always, thank you, All-State. So Spedic on, 31-yard attempt, already 1 of 1 tonight. Spedic's kick is good. Actually, no good. No good on the kick, and Navy gets a hold.
The half is not over. The half is not over. The clock operator, please put 1 second on the clock. 1 second.
So no home clock for Memphis to get to the locker room. There's going to be 1 second left for Navy.
Navy head coach Brian Newberry is asking what is going on here. Let's see. Wow.
Not sure that Navy's going to do anything with the 1 second. I'm guessing Navy's going to get down to that heel formation, get to the locker room. But again, great stop by them. The missed field goal. They start with the ball second half. And what's been an entertaining second quarter. 4 lead changes, and that's where it'll stay. So 17-14 Memphis. They're looking for 9 wins, and Navy's looking to stay alive in the American Championship race. Entertaining first half. We go to the studio. Zubin Mehenti and Trevor Matic at the half. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance as you are watching the American Conference on ESPN. Our final Thursday night college football game of the year, and it's a good one. 17-14 Memphis on top of Navy, who needs to win tonight, get some help this weekend to play in the conference championship game. With that, welcome back to the booth. Tom Lugan, Matt Berry. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours if you're watching us here for the first time. Good first half, really, Lugs. Back and forth. 4 lead changes alone in the second quarter.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. Memphis did a nice job in that first half stopping the run. Navy's got to get the run game going. I mean, that's their bread and butter. No matter how they go about it, only 46 yards rushing in the first half. It's not good enough.
And it was really Memphis who leaned on the running game in the first half when Brandon Lewis wasn't trying to take shots down the field. As we take a look at our first half stats, brought to you by Viore. And look, pretty evenly matched in terms of score, but right now, Memphis's offense is the one that's been clicking instead of Navy.
Well, normally the time of possession there would be reversed when you consider Navy holding on to the ball, earning it, being methodical, going up and down the field. And Memphis not only has stopped the run, they've been able to limit the explosives, which is what Navy has really hung their hat on this year.
And as I mentioned a second ago, when you look at the rushing stats, typically that's a thing for Navy to hone in on, but Memphis has doubled up the yardage on them. Brandon Lewis started 0 for 2 for the game, and then he got on fire to end the second half.
Well, he really did, but they still haven't been able to connect. Outside of the touchdown to Cortez Braham, they haven't been able to connect on the vertical passing game where they've had open opportunities. They've just missed, and those were that first 2 attempts in the first quarter.
All right, so it's going to be Navy's ball to start the third quarter. Isaiah Bryant deep to receive. It's going to go into the end zone for a touchback as we take a look at tonight's player spotlight, brought to you by Lexus.
Blake Horvath, nice little subtle flip of the football to Evans there for the touchdown on the rollout, and then he just throws a strike right here downfield, taking a shot right in the kitchen for Heidenreich, who goes up and gets it, draws the penalty, and then just using his legs, taking what the defense gives him. And when they're going to need to see a little bit more of that, they got to get Horvath going here in the second half.
How throwback is Horvath, by the way? Nothing on his arms, no gloves, no wristbands, no
sleeves.
Nothing. Seems to be working well for him, as in the first half became the first Navy quarterback in school history to rush and throw for 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. There's a good start to the second half, right up the gut for 11 as we check in with Harry Lyles.
Blake Horvath's wearing nothing. I, on the other hand, have bundled up over here. It's very cold down here. I did speak with Brian Newberry coming out of the locker room. He said that his team shot themselves in the foot a few times during that first half. He wants to cut down on the penalties. And then, Lugs, you said it. He says we need to be able to run the football. We got to sustain some drives here coming out of the half.
Did he also call you soft?
Yes. Duh.
For wearing a beanie?
He does coach at Navy.
That's true. Right up the gut again for Teska. And a gain of 4 brought down by Puda Walker.
Well, there's clearly going to be an attempt here in the second half for them to get back to the ground game. A first down, 10-yard gain on first down. Now you get close to 5 on second down. And they're going to get creative with the ways that they do run the game, but it looks like they want to attack between the tackles right now.
And what have we seen out of Navy all year during this run? This is how they lull you with the run, and that's when Horvath will take a shot deep.
Yep.
And we saw it in the first half a couple of times. So 2nd and 6. So a stutter step by Heidenreich. It's going to be a gain of 4. So an early 3rd and short for Navy to start the third quarter. Right up the gut. Second effort's going to be good enough for a first down and a gain of 3. And so Navy moves the chains, and Lugs, we just saw all runs here on this drive to this point good enough to move the chains.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're going to continue to see this. And as I mentioned earlier, right down the midline with this run game between the guards, Memphis has to come up with an answer here.
And by the way, shout out to the proper chains here to start the third quarter.
Properly dressed. There's actually 2 of them. This is fantastic.
There's 2. They're orange. Thanksgiving dinner break is over. All right, steady diet. Lugs, we weren't in the Navy locker room, but we can almost guarantee what we heard. Teska for a gain of 5. Rare is the day a team doubles up Navy and rushing in a half, which is what Memphis did, and then Brian Newberry is like, "Not, it's not going to happen."
Yeah, is that stat sheet right, guys? Well, we're going to have to remedy that here in the third quarter.
Maybe on the first drive.
Yeah.
And there's Horvath, who's going to move the chains for Navy. Kamari Wilson and Bracey bring him down, but you saw him show that option motion and then bust it right up the middle.
Well, they had 2 plays built into one there. They had the quarterback counter, but you could have also pitched it off to the right, and he sees it and does a nice job of just being patient enough to wait for that counter pull to come around. And man, Navy's got something cooking here in the run game.
6 plays, 6 runs. Here's the throw. Instead, Horvath keeps it. Rolled him out to the right. Everyone covered. Heady play by him. And Horvath picks up 4.
And that's a long 4, too. You got to love the play call. Get him out on the run. You either got to defend him or you got to defend the pass. One or the other. They had 2 men out in the route to the short side of the field. And once again, I mean, have we seen a first down run that's been less than 4 yards? So far here in the third quarter, I believe not.
Again, coming into the game, they were averaging 6.39 yards per rush. Still under the average, but effective here to start the third quarter. And even Chapman picks up 2. It's going to be third. Look, you can live in 3rd and 4 and less all night.
Especially in this offense. There's no question about it.
It's going to be 4 down territory. Yep. They've got 2 plays to get 4 yards in an offense that's come out of the gate running the ball effectively. 8 plays, 8 runs. That's Teska. And he's going to be about a yard short after a gain of 3. And it's going to be 4th and 1.
They're going to line right up and do it again.
Absolutely. Horvath. Nothing to it. And a gain of 3, and the chains move again. Heidenreich gave Horvath the old goose up the middle.
Yeah, and in that time, Horvath, all he's doing is to look to see which one of the A gaps to either side of the center was open or uncovered. That time to the right with a little tush push behind it. And this is methodical, Matt.
All 10 plays have been on the ground. Horvath to throw this time. Looks downfield, overthrows an open receiver. He had Jordan Collins. The play was on, and he missed it.
Well, it's just as you mentioned earlier. You get everybody creeping up towards the run, and here's Blake Horvath. He's going to take another shot late after delivering that football, and you're hoping to leak a guy out. That time, Memphis did a nice job on the back end, not falling victim to eye violations, staying back and keeping the ball in front of them.
And that's really all Memphis wanted on this drive, is at least one stop to make it 2nd and 10, and they've done that. Back to the run, and Horvath nailed. Sam Brumfield nailed Horvath after a 2-yard gain. And now this drive that had been moving along methodically, as you said, Lugs, all of a sudden turns into a 3rd and 8.
Well, they got off schedule when they attempted the first down pass. And now all of a sudden Memphis is starting to heat up. What a difference this offense is when they're not ahead of the chains.
One incomplete pass changed the whole thing in the 13th play of the drive. Horvath out of bounds. Flag down. Late flag thrown. That was Teska, who snuck out of the backfield.
I think this is a good call, Matt. This was a big shove.
Pass interference. Defense number 3. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
So for the first time tonight, I want to bring in our rules expert, Jerry McGinn. Jerry, happy Thanksgiving. What'd you see?
Well, this is a good call. The ball is in the air. The defender pushes the receiver out of bounds. It was a good call by the field judge. And yes,
I
happy
agree.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too, Jerry. I agree with you. Just interfere with the path of the intended target while the ball's in the air. And Navy bailed out with a penalty.
And the defense finally looked like they were going to get their stop on this drive. And then, as you said, bails them out with a penalty as Heidenreich's going to go up the middle.
The Navy goes right back to the ground on first down. No more of this drop back stuff.
Listen, they're land, sea, or air, Lugs.
Yes, they are.
They will do anything it takes to get a victory.
Look at those numbers in the red zone. I mean, that's frightening.
14th play of this drive.
Over half the quarter in one drive.
Ball is on the turf. It was a shady exchange between quarterback and running back Shane Reynolds, and he was able to fall back on it.
Wow.
That was almost a disaster.
Oh, falls right on top of it. The ball never had a chance to bounce.
I mean, I guess you give him credit for being heady to recover it.
Yep. Oh.
That's that. Whew. That's going to get Teska right back on the field. Third down. Horvath keeps it. Snakes his way through. Oh, this is going to be close. And he is going to be just short of the first down marker.
For injured defensive player.
And an injured player, as you see Horvath bloodied and not bothered. He's like, I'm good. It's blood. Omarion Cooper comes right off the field. Actually, they're going to send this to an official timeout for the injury and a media timeout. So what a drive to start the third quarter for Navy. 4th and 1 when we return.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Big 4th down here. Navy 1 for 1 on the night, 64% on the season. And they're going to say Memphis jumped. Drew Watts was the guy if Memphis gets called for it. And a killer penalty for Memphis.
Offside. Defense number 7. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
The defining trait of a soldier, discipline. Hard count, get him to jump. You then move because you reacted to it, draws the penalty. And the midshipman, fresh set of downs inside the 10-yard line.
Didn't even have to risk the play.
Nope.
Handed them the first down, goal to go. Horvath gonna take it off the left side. Puda Walker after 3. Again, Horvath on the year, 13 rushing touchdowns. Looking to give Navy the third quarter lead. 16th play of the drive. 15 of them have been on the ground.
And how about Drew Cronick, the offensive coordinator at Navy? Just sticking to his guns, came out, had a plan, told the offensive line, this is what we're doing, let's get it done.
Heavy personnel is in, up the gut. Navy to take the lead, and they're going to mark him short. 3rd and goal, that was Teska.
But that's close.
I mean, the nose of that ball is inches. Exchange problem, and the ball on the turf again, and Memphis recovers. An unthinkable mistake out of Navy. They took the play, 17 plays, 74 yards in 10 minutes, and have nothing to show for it. Joey Hunter recovers the fumble. Horvath didn't have it. Ball squirts out. And Memphis survives a clock-draining drive. They remain on top, 17-14. We are back, 17-14, a 10-plus minute drive, 75 yards that ended with a fumble at the 1-yard line for Navy.
Yeah, and you see right there, Blake Horvath, his hands come up and they rise up and almost out towards him. And when you're in that situation and you are under center,
yeah,
especially close to the line of scrimmage like that, those offensive linemen, their butt's going to get as low as possible. You have to ride and get as deep underneath there as you can and hang in there until you get that ball. You saw his hands rise out, which makes it hard for your hand to get here and cup that ball. Just a mishandled snap there and a botched mesh point between the center and quarterback, and what a wasted opportunity after a 17-play drive.
You had the chance to tie it worse, take the lead at best, and it was nothing. It was a turnover, and that was Peasant, brought down by Parker. I mean, going into that first 6 drives, Navy had the ball for 12 minutes and 7 seconds. First 6 drives of the game, that drive alone, 10 minutes, 3 seconds. I mean, a complete role reversal in time of possession. They took the yardage. Well, now they're tied at 101 each rushing yards. Navy had Memphis had the 1-yard advantage until that play. He's got to be careful out of his end zone. He's just going to throw that away. Lewis was pressured by Campbell. Rule number 1, don't pull a Dan Orlovsky.
Get the ball out of your hand. You have a free rusher coming off the edge in your face. Live to play the next down. 3rd and 10 backed up. Let's see how Navy chooses to play this. Early in the first half, when they wanted to come after Brendan Lewis, they really tested his lateral agility by blitzing him and pressuring him up front. Looks like they may be in a 3-man front here. Drop 8. Make Memphis be patient and earn it.
And a couple of times, too, Peasant was able to pick up the blitzer, which freed one-on-one coverage for Lewis to take advantage. So I'm with you. Fascinating play call here. Lewis is going to throw it, and he's brought down. And they're going to spot him out of the end zone. Navy wants the safety, but they're going to spot him down at the 1.5-yard line. And how about the midshipman? A dominating offensive drive that ends in a turnover. Defense comes out fired up, says we've got your back, and they do. Quick 3 and out for Memphis.
Yeah, and this shouldn't happen. That's a 6-man protection versus a 5-man rush. And credit just the effort and the push of the pocket. Landon Robinson, who we mentioned when we came on air, he's the guy. He's the active defensive tackle in the middle of that defense getting after it.
He also is the one that had the fake punt that was negated. And Kerrigan's up against that back stripe. And he's able to step it out of there and get a punt off. So a good punt for Kerrigan out of his own end zone. It's a punt of 43. So Navy gets the ball back when we return. 3:25 left in the 3rd. (17-14) Memphis with the lead late 3rd quarter for Brian Newberry and Navy. Here's what's at stake. They need a win tonight to stay alive in the American. but they'll also need help from Tulane and North Texas. North Texas holds the head-to-head tiebreaker because they won. Tulane is the highest-ranked team in the American, so they need one of those two to lose over the weekend. North Texas has Temple. Tulane has Charlotte. With the win tonight, Navy advances to the American Championship. So a lot to play for. They'll be watching football over the weekend. After a brilliant defensive stop, after fumbling the ball at the goal line, Navy gets the ball right back. And that's Teska. And this has really been the theme of the third quarter, as quick as it's been. Take the ball on the ground, get 8 yards. We had talked about it at the beginning of the third quarter. Memphis had double the rushing yardage that Navy did in the first half, and that's already changed. Navy now leading the game in rushing yards.
Yeah, Memphis has had the ball a total of 3 plays.
But well below their average, 19 plays this half. Keep the feet churning up the gut. Teska tackled by Wilson. And that's going to be a gain of 3 for a first down.
First down success of this offense really dictates everything. Opens things up. They haven't gotten greedy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Drew Cronick, the offensive coordinator, he smells blood in the water here in the run game.
Luke's, to that point, I think even more important is they're not in any rush.
No.
They're kind of staying within the play clock, and they're just doing that. They found something they like right up the gut with Teska as we check in with Harry.
They're not really rushed. Like, even after that fumble down here on the goal line, Brian Newberry came down and told the offense, hey, like, we're okay, stay calm. And, you know, Blake Horvath obviously had the same message for them as well. And Eli Heidenreich told me earlier this week, again, that is something that allows this team to stay poised, stay calm, and just operate within what they do.
Yeah, that their starting quarterback's going to be a pilot when he's done. I'm guessing they stay pretty calm under pressure. These players have a lot more in their minds throughout the week, and that's Chapman off the edge, and he gets another positive gain. You know, such great respect for our service academies, Navy, Army, Air Force. The schedule that these student athletes put in during the week to still be able to compete, practice and football is their escape.
No question. And when they get the practice, these coaches, they want them to have fun. They want them to enjoy the game for what it is. Because you're right, from a scheduling standpoint, the academic stringent requirements, it's a lot, man.
That was a first down run by Chapman. And they're going to continue eating the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown, Navy. Keep riding Teska, and they regain the lead. And what a third quarter it's been. They go down the field, 75 yards in 10 minutes, fumble at the goal line, get a 3 and out, get the ball right back. This time they punch it in. Five plays, all runs, 44 yards. Nathan Kirkwood bangs through the extra point.
Well, here's where Memphis went wrong. So what we're going to end up seeing right here is we're going to get people up here. We're going to pull out. We're going to be down here. Now, 2 guys go into 1 gap for Memphis. When they turn around and hand this football off, you should have somebody up top and somebody inside. They're both lined up on the pulling guard. So you voided a gap defensively, and that's why you see that big crease right there for Teska.
How about Teska in the second half, by the way? For the game, 16 carries, 72 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But it was clear they found something they liked right up the middle, and it allowed them to move down the field. And now Navy over 145 rushing yards, 62 yards in the second half for Teska. And to Harry's report, they turned that ball over. They weren't panicked.
Nope.
They just went right down the field and scored, took the lead.
They're actually playing like they were ahead. Now, this is where this Memphis defense has to go and regroup on the sideline, and why the use of the iPad is so critical. The visual of that for the coaching staff at Memphis is going to be really important here on defense.
Well, that time of possession, they let that happen again, and this game's going to be close to over. I mean, time of possession in this game just absolutely flipped. And on Monday night, Drake May and the Patriots, winners of 9 straight, hosting the Giants, 8 Eastern, ESPN Deportes. The all-new ESPN app, Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. NFL Live gets the fun started at 3 p.m. Monday Night Countdown at 6 p.m. As we are in the final regular season weekend of college football 2025. And we enter a weekend, American included, where not one conference championship game matchup is decided. Oh, dangerous throw by Lewis, and he got away with it. He was looking at Bussey, falls incomplete. A second down.
He's actually really fortunate that the ball went that high, or would have been going the other way.
If he doesn't sail that one, it's a pick 6. That's DeWosier. He's had a hard time getting going tonight. Peasant's been their lead running back. DeWosier just able to get 1. Been tough sledding for he and Sutton Smith. All 4 carriers tonight have over 20 yards. Lewis with 28, Smith with 25, Peasant with 24. Memphis 1 of 6 on 3rd down tonight. Lewis, one-on-one coverage up top. That's going to be incomplete and a flag down. Justin Ross had Braham held pretty much 75% of the way, and that was an easy call for the officials.
Pass interference. Defense number 17. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Ross restricted his arms. Braham didn't have a chance.
Yeah, got a little handsy down the sideline right there. A couple of little tugs of the jersey as well, which is where I think the back judge came up with the flag, because the field judge right there in your line of sight, he's saying no because from his angle he can't see it. Back judge sees it from the inside out.
So costly penalty keeps the drive alive for Memphis here into the 3rd quarter. Lewis looks right, gonna take another shot. Man open, dropped. And that just as much on Caldwell as it was Lewis. He snuck around almost on a wheel route, and they were unable to connect.
Yeah, you just got to make this play if you're Caldwell, and if you're Brennan Lewis. I mean, it's a pretty good back shoulder throw right there. You just got to make the play when the play's there to be made. And that's been the difference with Memphis. They have lacked the execution downfield in the passing game tonight.
They've had shots down the field to that point. And you're right, Lugs, they have yet to hit a big one. Lewis sacked. Pierce. And a loss of 1, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. That was a dominating performance out of the midshipmen in the 3rd quarter, and they are all out on the field off the sideline. Navy is fired up. They still have the American in their sights. We head to the 4th quarter. Midshipmen up 21-17. Start of the 4th quarter, Thanksgiving night, our final Thursday night game of the season. Ryan Silverfield, Ryan Newberry trying to find out which of their teams is going to stand out and come out on top in the final game of Memphis's regular season. Navy still has Army in 2 weeks, but just 3rd quarter domination by the Mids. 3rd and 11 to start the 4th. Lewis to throw. Has time. Forced out, and he's going down. And this Navy defense is teeing off. Luke Pierce. Lewis was able to stand in the pocket, Lugs, until he wasn't.
Luke Pierce is coming off the edge here, and we've mentioned his name a lot tonight, Matt. He's done a great job of being relentless in pursuit, disengages the offensive tackle in number 61, Chris Adams. And what a huge loss, because now you've impacted field position significantly with that sack.
It's like Navy went into the locker room, looked at what the enemy's been doing for the first half, and re-strategized their attack and ploy.
First half was just recon, Matt.
That's all it was. Yeah. I mean, because they have come out of the locker room a completely different team.
Well, and credit the offensive line for Navy and their mentality and the ownership of, if we're going to win this game, we have to win up front and keep this clock moving, get back to what we do best. And sometimes we talked about throughout the night how diverse this offense is. They'll spread you out, they'll get in the shotgun. But if you watch the third quarter and what looks like to be the beginning of the fourth right here, look at the sets that they're in. It's clear they're getting down and dirty in the run game.
And all you need to know, we know what the offense has done, but the defense, Navy has minus 17 yards in the second half, down to Harry.
Memphis defensive back Kamari Wilson, he told me even though this Navy offensive line isn't as big as the other guys that you might see elsewhere in college football, he says you could tell that they love the game by the way that they block for each other, and we've been seeing it here in the second half.
They're not loving it very much right now, I can tell you that.
It's an absolute, they're a unit. They're an offensive line unit.
They might have appreciated it during the week. Navy's getting after it.
And Memphis is showing the blitz. And they're going to try to pop him right up the gut, and they do. Teska, he has been the guy for Navy in the second half, and a gain of 9. Brumfield and Jordan bring him down, and it's going to be a first down. And Memphis needs to be real careful here, because we just saw Navy take 10 minutes off the third quarter clock to begin the quarter.
Well, you're just going to flat out run out of possession. You cannot allow another methodical drive of double-digit plays result in points, because you're going to be limited in your ability to score on offense.
And that's all it's been right there. And they're getting back up near their average, 7 yards on the carry. Again, I mentioned it before, coming into the game, they lead FBS in 308.2 yards rushing per game. They average 6.39 yards per rush, also best in the country, and they're starting to assert themselves now.
Well, and keep in mind, too, the longer this goes, when Navy doesn't substitute, that defensive front for Memphis is stuck on the field.
And that's going to be Heidenreich on the outside, and he's going to lose yardage. Memphis finally able to get a negative play, -2. And this is a huge third down here in this game.
Huge third down and a huge play there from DeMarco Ward, the Florida State transfer, coming up and playing off that block on the perimeter and forcing 3rd and 5.
Navy just 4 of 10 on third downs tonight. Play clock under 10. Down to 5. Navy gets the play off. It's a quick shot outside. One cut, one miss. There he goes. Eli Heidenreich. And a huge first down for Navy as they continue to be the elite, best of the best here in the second half.
Well, and you motion opposite and then throw the 2-man screen back to your best player in Heidenreich. You got 2-on-2. You got to make one guy miss. You hit the block with the other. Really well executed.
That was the first completion of the second half for either team. And Horvath. I mean, look at this yards per play here. Since they came out of the locker room, that a gain for 5.
And just bleeding every ounce of the play clock. Taking their time. Oh, look at them just hanging out in the huddle. No hurry.
And Silverfield knows it.
And you're helpless on that sideline. if you're Memphis right now.
Ball is out. Still on the turf. Wow.
Holy smokes.
Teska's made a lot of big plays this game. You can circle that one as the biggest.
Wow.
I mean, that thing was flopping around.
Popped straight up in the air. Horvath tries to go up and grab it. Teska.
Wow.
Wow. And you needed that play so bad. Drew walks, pops it loose. Number 7 for Memphis on defense. But again, another big third down here, Matt.
Horvath. Downfield. One-on-one coverage. He's going to get the flag. Intended for Nathan Kent. How heady of a play was that by the Navy captain?
No, unbelievable.
Defense number 13. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Just a fantastic play right here because you forced the defender into a hold, into a defensive pass interference by trying to come back to an underthrown football. And Nathan Kent does a really good job trying to attack it, putting Jordan in a tough position. And once again, a fresh set of downs for this Navy offense. And that man right there, Ryan Silverfield, is beside himself.
Yeah, you get Jeremiah Jordan in that coverage. There's nothing he can do about it.
Nope.
They move the chains again. Clock starts to tick. Teska in the backfield. Teska up the middle. Teska for 5. I feel like it's rinse and repeat. Again, if you just joined us at the half with Memphis sitting on the lead 17-14, they have minus 17 yards here in the second half, while it's all been Navy on the ground with the clock and now on the scoreboard. Up the middle again. Nothing doing.
Slow to get off the pile. Little substitution right here. Memphis opts not to. And you just look at this Navy offense, man. They're just taking pride. Look at their movements. They're just suddenly getting back in the huddle. Ho-hum, here we go.
And their demeanor is that of their head coach.
It's exactly
Newberry's
right.
as even as it gets.
Mild-mannered, even keel.
10th play of the drive. Horvath. He's going to get the first down. He found his way through the right side of that line, turned his body, and it's going to be enough and make it 1st and goal.
Little inside veer. You bypass the defensive front with your offensive line. You work up to the second level, and you hand that ball off so quickly, you're already down past the line of scrimmage before the defensive line knows what hit them.
A 10-minute drive and now a 7-minute drive. You know, I want to go back to something you said a moment ago because I think you hit it on the head. Yes, Memphis has the control to stop the offense.
Yeah.
But right now you're almost helpless. Like you just, Navy has seized control of everything in this game.
You have no answers. And it's so deflating on that sideline. And demoralizing on the defensive side of things, and particularly when things are operating at this slow rate and this slow pace that Navy's using to drain this clock.
That time of possession is all you need to see. And Teska trying to muscle his way towards the goal line. And it's going to be 3rd and goal. Remember, this is the 3rd consecutive time in this half that Navy's had the ball down inside the 5-yard line. One time they fumbled at the 2.
Yep.
Next time they went down and scored, and here they have it again, 3rd and goal. If Memphis can't get a stop, it might be too late. They need this.
Going on another 10-minute drive here. Get close to it.
Horvath, touchdown Navy. Their captain, their leader of leaders, Blake Horvath, has done it here in the second half. And he has Navy staring at a 9-win season pre-Army.
What an unselfish leader. The second half has been him handing the ball off to other people. And you reward him with a touchdown in the red zone inside the 5. That guy's been divvying the ball to everybody else and operating this offense to perfection.
13 plays, 73 yards, 8 minutes and 19 seconds. And if you haven't seen Horvath and Navy play in person, this is a team that beat South Florida, who is regarded as one of the most talented teams in the league. They beat them. Memphis, another one of the most talented teams in the league. They're beating them. They trust their pilot. He's got him up big in the 4th. Numbers don't lie, and in the second half, I want you to focus on that top line. Time of possession in this second half. Navy went into the locker room, decided they were going to come out and go back to the basics. And the basics have 139 yards on the ground, over 20 minutes time of possession, but most importantly, an 11-point lead in a game they have to win to stay alive to play in the American Conference Championship. And our gift to you, because we know you have leftovers in the fridge, you want to have one more turkey sandwich, some more overrated sweet potatoes, and some cranberry sauce. We're just going to double up breaks so you can put on more weight.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Has ever been to Graceland?
I have not.
Never been to the Elvis
Me
Museum?
neither.
No. Those are white suede shoes.
Yeah, those are white patent leather.
We're the blue ones.
Yeah, we're the blue ones.
Are the blue suede shoes a myth? So down 11, under 6 to play. Matt Berry, Tom Luganville, Harry Lyles, rules expert Jerry McGinn in our final Thursday night game of the season. What a run it's been, and Memphis needs to score, and they need to do it quick. Lewis checks all of his routes. Goes to the outside, gets something from Jamari Hawkins. That's going to be a gain of 4. And now, Lou, it's got to be tempo all the way home. And an injured player for Navy, that is Philip Hamilton.
Timeout for injured defensive player.
He's the player for Navy. He moved over. He was a corner, started over there and moved over to safety. He's down on the field. We'll let him take a look. We'll come right back.
The college football playoff selection show, the bracket will be filled. Judgment Day is here.
We are back. Judgment Day is coming. I know some at ESPN don't like this conversation, but the only rankings that matter, the penultimate and the final.
That's it.
Anything up to this point has been for entertainment purposes only and for the committee chair to make 6-7 jokes. 2nd and 6. Incomplete. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. This is a must convert now from Memphis as we have 5:24 left in the 4th quarter. Mentioned a moment ago, this is our final Thursday night game of the season. Quick chance to just thank everyone along the way.
Yep.
All of these schools have been so great with us. We did Sports Center on campus every week. Tim Pernetti and the American has been so good to us, scheduling on Thursday nights. We had Wake Forest one week. Coach Dickert, he was gracious with his time, and even the Sun Belt. So thanks to everyone who who made the most out of these Thursdays from start to finish as we wrap up here our 2025 season. As Lewis, he's got clear path, looking for a block, he's gonna get it, and more. First down, that was a must for the Tigers. Peasant picked up the big block at a gain of 23.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of urgency there. You got the first down. Let's get to the line of scrimmage, run another play.
Blitz was coming. It was picked up. Can they finally hit one of these plays downfield? Through his hands. Braham had it.
Wow.
Lewis can't believe it.
And he's tussling with Cam Robinson, the true freshman, down the sideline. A lot of grabbing, a lot of arms, a lot of hands, but gotta make the catch. Graham's been their go-to guy, and it drops right through the hoop. And these plays are becoming so critical because Memphis is aware that they don't score, they don't get this ball in the end zone, they may not see the ball again.
That is the best look they had at one of their shots downfield, and they come up empty. As Peasant fights his way for 6. First possession of this game, Memphis had a receiver wide open for a touchdown twice. One was underthrown, one was overthrown, and they just haven't been able to connect downfield. Lewis gonna try again, and that's gonna be incomplete. He looked like he overthrew his receiver, but Hawkins was able to catch up to it. Now it's 4th down.
Just slightly off there, and again, he keeps throwing the ball up and forward when his target's got a step or two and not dragging him across the field over the middle with an open middle field. And that's been the case, as you just referenced it, all night long with the downfield accuracy.
He's got the matchups he likes. Only 16 second half yards for Memphis. They need 4 here or they're in trouble. Over the middle, incomplete, Navy ball. And with how their offense has moved tonight, it could be game, set, mids in one drive. It's going to be a timeout game now for Memphis as Navy's going to come out, throws behind his intended receiver, Jaden Thompson.
Yeah, that ball's got to be thrown out in front, about a foot in front of the numbers. Allow Thompson to go out there, pluck it, turn up field. And it's just a poor, inaccurate throw. Tough night offensively for this Memphis offense. Have just not been able to sustain any rhythm or consistency of production.
So timeout number 1 for Memphis.
Memphis takes their first charge, timeout of the half.
As we now take a look at tonight's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. Lugs, it's a real simple package. It's Navy running the ball effectively the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, let's win at the point of attack in the offensive line. And really, Navy, as diverse and as wide open as they've been as an offense, got back to their core foundation, and that's triple option, inside run game. Get the ball out on the perimeter with the quick pitch. We've seen Blake Horvath, the quarterback, do such a good job of that. He calls his own number there on the sideline. But it's been about this offensive line. It's been about the mindset coming out of the locker room, knowing you were going to get the football and be methodical, trust the offensive line, rely on them, and get it done. And that's exactly what Navy has done.
We've been given Chronic a lot of credits tonight, and rightfully so, because of the design he's had with his offense. But at the end of the day, give him credit for going back to the basics, Lugs, and the basics were good enough to get this win. This could be a second timeout for Memphis. And look, the window dressing is what's made Navy one of the best offenses in the country this year. And ultimately, that wasn't what was working in the first half.
No, not at all. Not, you know, they were in the shotgun, they were shifting and motioning and changing the strength of the formation with the tight end moving across. And then what did they do coming out of the locker room? Under center, single back, 2 wings, set offside both offensive tackles, and just lined up and said, here we go, you know it's coming, can you stop it? And imagine being Memphis, Matt, where you've got to use all your timeouts. You're not even close to the 2-minute break.
No.
And you know full well if you don't use them now, it's over.
I was going to say, what does that say about what they think
Right.
of Navy?
No question. It means they can't stop them.
Teska now over 100 yards on the night. Navy's run 38 plays in the second half. 37 of them on the ground. And that's going to be enough for a first, and there you have it. Memphis is going to be with one timeout and the 2-minute timeout. Again, I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Blake Horvath got word this week that he was a finalist, not a finalist, but a candidate for the Heisman Trophy. Got it from the Heisman Trust. And look, we love the big school guys. I get it. They put up the stats. The criteria of the award is for the most outstanding player in college football. Blake Horvath isn't going to put up the numbers of Julian Sand or Fernando Mendoza. Right. You can't compare him to Jeremiah Love, but I can tell you right now, he came into this game with over 2,300 overall yards of offense, 21 touchdowns with a team that, oh, by the way, doesn't have the same kind of athlete as players they play, and he's put his team on his back. Why can't this guy be a legitimate consideration for the award in a school that's only won 2 Heismans? Last one was Roger Staubach.
Well, especially when the entire offense runs through him as they're reviewing the line to gain here.
I don't think that's going to be.
Don't know why.
A mystery. Replay officials being felt left out tonight. Brian Sikowski.
Yeah.
We hadn't leaned on him once. He's like, wait a second. Thursday night, final Thursday night with Matt and Luke's. I'm getting in this. But I just, look, I get it. There's the lack of sizzle is there.
Sure.
But for substance,
yeah,
he needs to be there.
Well, and if you really if you watched them the entirety of the season, which, you know, as a Heisman voter and somebody you're considering, you got to do, the value that he brings to this offense. And again, it's not just been on the ground. It's been through the air. They've had an aerial attack of explosive plays that have been sensational all throughout the year.
College football just doesn't want us to have fast games. They're like, no, nope.
Not on a Thursday.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. First down.
I just think.
Well, how does that take that long?
Listen, you're talking to the guy that's been standing on the soapbox all year. I'm not going to slip on my final night. But we saw last year with Bryson Daly and Army.
Yeah.
And now with Blake Horvath and Navy, start giving the credit that they deserve and how they play their style of football. He's already made history at Navy, the first quarterback in back-to-back years to rush and throw for over 1,000 yards. I mean, let him fly himself after the Army game to the ceremony.
Sure. Heck, let him fly the team back tonight.
I was looking at his schedule. I meant to write it down. They sent like his daily schedule. Yeah. I laugh thinking about his daily schedule relative to what I did at Arizona State. I mean, it's like, if you want to feel really bad about yourself and really good about the future of our country, compare your day with Blake Horvath's or any of these guys.
Sure.
We've called an Army game this year, and here we are calling a Navy. Calling Service Academy games is some of my greatest joy in this career, because you get to learn about how they do it differently.
Right.
And this transfer portal garbage and the NIL and the movement and the this and that, not these guys.
No, you talk to coaches, you say, hey, if you want to coach football and really want to do it for the reason you got into it, go coach at a Service Academy right now, because they're the least impacted by the current climate of college football right now.
In fact, Coach Newberry pregame, we were with him on the field as Horvath's going to take that one up the gut, or probably take us down here to the 2-minute timeout. Newberry was laughing because he's like, oh, they finally got to sleep in today. Memphis going to take their third and final
8 or 9.
timeout. They got, 8 or 9, 8 or 9 a.m. So the final timeout from Memphis ahead of the 2-minute timeout as we take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings, brought to you by Capital One. Again, not to burst anyone's bubble right out of the gate, you can take 11 and 12 out of it. BYU and Miami are not in it because you got to put the ACC champion in there, which Miami's not going to play for, in the group of 5 champ. So everyone 10 up right now is slated. Now, teams all the way down to Virginia, USC out, Texas likely out, Michigan likely out, but Virginia because of the ACC championship game, Vandy because they play a ranked Tennessee team, Utah I believe is a little bit overvalued, and SMU down there at 21.
Well, and SMU is the scariest team in the ACC right now. They're a handful. They're playing their best football. Quarterback Kevin Jennings is finally healthy. Could be interesting. They got to beat Cal on Saturday to get to the ACC championship
just
game.
Parted ways with Justin Wilcox. And you never look, interim coach magic can be a thing.
Sure.
There's a flag down on the play. It's gonna be a legal shift. Did someone here on the crew mention about how this game was moving along? Was that with Luke? Did you
on
say,
air?
Did you say? Oh
Illegal
yeah.
motion. Offense number 24. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Not on air.
You didn't see it?
There was a rumor that maybe during a commercial break it might have been brought up.
I was just making. I didn't know who did this to us.
But see, you were just counting on Navy making their first real mistake of the entire half. I mean, they've literally been almost flawless in their execution.
Actually, Harry's got a reservation like the Blue Saxophone or something down on Beale Street, whatever. Like, he's ready to go.
Harry's too cold.
Harry's ready to go listen to some blues. So Navy's actually going to punt the ball away. They're going to take the delay again, give themselves a little bit more yardage.
Well, they accomplished what they needed to accomplish, and that was to get Memphis to spill all their timeouts.
Yep, spill the timeouts, 2-minute timeout still ahead, so they're going to get the ball. They'll probably get 2 plays off prior to 2-minute timeout because they're going to be in hurry-up mode. And then they're playing timeout free the rest of the way. Oh, that's a good punt. So they even punt well now, too?
Wow.
So let me get this straight. The offense dominated. The defense was stifling, and their punter just throws a lob wedge to the 3-yard line for 44 yards. All right, Luke, this is our ABC triple header. This is our Friday triple header. We're not even on Saturday yet.
Right.
Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Who you got?
Ole Miss.
All right, Georgia Tech. Who you got?
Georgia.
Texas A&M at Texas.
Texas A&M.
I'll tell you this, though.
But that one is the one that it gives me the creeps.
Arch is playing with some swagger right now.
And they're playing at home.
And they did it last year. So that's what Memphis is going to do. Catch the ball, get out of bounds. Clock will not stop shy of the 2-minute timeout. It was C.J. Smith. Check that, Cortez Braham, gain of 8.
3 defenders back in the back end for Navy. Just keep the ball in front of you. Clock's in your favor.
Lewis sidesteps. That's going to be incomplete. A quick 3rd down. That ball was tipped, fell to the turf. Adam Klink provided pressure. So, mentioned this a bit ago, going into the final weekend of the season. I love that one conference championship game is set.
Great, isn't it?
What does that tell you? That tells you we've had a hell of a year in college football, and that magic P word, parity.
Parity, competitive balance, and that's because of the transactional nature of the sport. You can't stockpile talent anymore. It's been dispersed. That's why we're having 1-possession games. That's why the quarterback position is even more important.
Of course, all eyes will be on the Egg Bowl, noon Eastern, ABC, first down Memphis. That'll take us to the 2-minute timeout.
By the way, you were asking me about that game. Ole Miss better win that game.
Ole Miss has a lot of other things going on, and that's the problem. They're having a historic season, and we're all watching a train to see where it's going to park. Do trains park? Either way, 28-17 Navy. Blake Horvath, a star on and off the field. Luke's, he's the elite, best of the best. Taking pictures.
You got it.
I thought for a second my man had an actual digital camera. I was like, oh no, it's a phone. First and 10, Lewis. No timeouts remaining in his end zone. Throws it away. Chased by Justin Ross. So Navy looks like they're going to do what they can control, which is get the win tonight. And now they have to sit back and watch Tulane against Charlotte, North Texas against Temple. They need one of them to lose to play for the American Championship.
Well, they've done their part, as you mentioned.
The Americans' tiebreaker system, well, in this case, North Texas holds the head-to-head over Navy, but with Tulane being the highest-ranked team in the tiebreaker format, they would not only get to go, but they would host the game. If the clock's going to stop, a lot of running there for Lewis. It's going to bring up third down. But we've called 8 of these games. We called 8 American games this year. We've seen every team but North Texas that's been in contention throughout the season. Yep. We saw East Carolina 3 times. We saw South Florida twice. We've now seen Memphis. We've seen Navy. And Navy, look, what did we say a moment ago? South Florida and Memphis are the 2 most talented teams in this league.
Without question.
And they beat them both. Which really speaks to what Eric Morris is doing at North Texas with Drew Mestamaker and that team.
Yeah, that freshman running back Hawkins has been a difference maker for them.
Two players that the Big 12 is going to have to contend with next year. Let's call it what it is. Gain of 11. Navy's content not getting beat deep. They're going to make some substitutions. Contrary to some belief that was out there, Alex Golish has not accepted the Arkansas job. There was a couple of reports out there, but that is not the case. As the coaching silly season. We're just getting started with the coaching silly season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the domino effect. We haven't even factored in dominoes. All we're factoring is what's open now.
Right.
We don't know what's about to come open because of what's open.
Correct.
And there's going to be a couple of big ones.
Well, and keep in mind the timing of it is not good.
And Lewis was good there to get out of the wash. He's going to throw it away.
When I say not good, meaning, you know, the month of December now, because of the calendar, is a dead period.
Yeah.
You've got the transfer portal coming in January, so you're going to have bowl games. You're going to have the college football playoff. You see the list of some of these jobs that are open. They better have contingency plans.
I mean, look at the amount of jobs, and those are good jobs.
Yeah, there's some really good jobs in there.
Florida, LSU, Auburn, Penn State. These are top flight jobs. And with coaches signing extensions with their current programs, I don't know who and what's going to happen. Is DeWosier over the middle, and it's going to bring up fourth down. Clock's not going to stop. Gain of 7. But I can tell you this, word to the viewers, the Sports Center's coming up next with Ryan Smith and Arno Cal. Fourth down, game on the line here from Memphis, and that's going to do it. End it with a sack. Adam Klink gives Navy the win. And up next is Army for a chance at back-to-back 10-win seasons for a first time in Navy history, the 5th sack of the night.
Ron Newberry's got to be awfully proud of his football team. What a statement in the second half. A plan, the ability to execute that plan, and to close out this game. Wow, impressive here in the last 2 quarters. for Navy.
As I mentioned, SportsCenter coming up next. You got the Cowboys. They get a big win against the Chiefs. Joe Burrow returns against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. College football rivalry weekend. Ryan Smith and Ardo Cal coming up next. And just a word to the wise. This is what Matty Claus is leaving you with before we go away. Do not trust anything you see on social media about coaching hires. Yeah. There's a handful of people out there that you can trust. 99% of them you can't. So just keep your head on a swivel. It's been great with you this year on Thursday nights, man. This is fun.
Absolutely, man.
This is a fun season.
Hopefully first of many.
Harry Lyles and I have been running this industry night thing for a while, and another one is in the books, and another win for Navy is in the books. What a season for the midshipmen as they are continuing to try to make history. Memphis falls to 8-4. They'll be in postseason. They'll have a bowl game to try to get those 9 wins in 3 consecutive seasons for the first time ever. But how about Navy? What a win for the midshipmen as we check in with Harry.
Coach, you said you wanted to run the ball in that second half. Your team responded. What did they show you guys tonight?
They sure did. We made some great adjustments at halftime, credit to our staff. And I think we had the ball 24 minutes in the second half. Did a hell of a job making some adjustments and holding on to football like I told you at halftime, keeping our defense off the field. And I thought defensively we played lights out in the second half. So super proud of our guys, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. And obviously we don't know if you're going to be in the American Championship or you might face Army next.
Right.
Either way, what you saw the resolve from your team tonight and how they were able to answer, how does that help you guys move forward no matter who your next opponent is?
We're a team playing with a lot of confidence right now based on the results of the last 2 weeks. We're playing really good football right now. We're peaking at the right time. So we've done everything we can to this point, all right, and then we'll let the cards fall where they may. But just truly proud of our football team right now. It's a great win for us.
Thank you, Coach. Happy Thanksgiving.
Appreciate it.
Harry, happy Thanksgiving to you, Coach. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you to everyone on our crew. Charlie Reynolds directed it. John Kettering produced it. For Tom Luganbill, Harry Lyles, I'm Matt Berry. What another year of Thursday night football we had. 28-17. Ryan Smith, Ardo Cal has SportsCenter next. We'll see you next season on Thursday night college football.
The fans. That's live on 98.9 The Roar of Memphis. The flagships.